So you catch a touchdown pass, and I know it's a preseason game, but it's still give you kind of a rush?
Yeah, of course. Obviously it's good to catch touchdowns. As a receiver, I love doing it. So, yeah.
How's it been just getting acclimated to being a member of this team? What has just the past few months been like for you?
Yeah, it's a little hotter here in Arizona, but I've loved it. It's obviously good to be back, with Mike and Elijah, guys that I've in college played with. But it's been good. Like the atmosphere of the team, with the coaches all the way down to the players. It's awesome to be a part of, and I'm excited.
How close are you to playing and not thinking? Adapting to a new playbook. How are you in the process?
I think it was super vital to be out here in OTAs, and I feel like I got some good reps, and obviously being able to bounce questions off of Mike and Zay and Marv. So I feel like I'm to the point where I can start playing more freely, a lot more faster. So yeah.
Both offense and special teams, where are your greatest strengths in your game?
I think for me, just being the big body that I am and being able to be, fast, I feel like I bring value on, not only in the receiver room but also on special teams. So I sort of adopted that play style back when I was in LA, and I feel excited to bring that here as well.
You've obviously played a lot with Jacoby in camp and preseason. What do you like about playing with him?
I mean, he's good. He's similar to the guy that I came from, a big tall guy that can throw the ball, make any throw on the field. So, Jacoby's a good guy. He's also really good at golf, so he'll take your money if you're not careful. So, but no, it's been good to be with Jacoby.
He has said that he trash talks in practice. He's really competitive. Is he that guy?
Oh yeah. You get some competitive words out of him. If you get him fired up, you gotta watch out. So.
You obviously weren't around last year here, but from the time that you spent around Marvin, like what are your impressions of him as a receiver?
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's one of the best that I've been around, and I've been around some dudes. So seeing his work ethic, the way he comes to work every day, I mean, it doesn't look like a second-year guy. I see him as a vet and the way he handles his business. So it's super cool to see.
What else makes him one of the best you've been around?
I think just what he it's things you can't teach. His size, his speed, the way he tracks the ball. It's super impressive to see.
We always, on the outside, we always talk about receivers getting chemistry with quarterbacks and what that looks like and how important it is and how long it might take.
Yeah.
What is behind that? Like, when we talk about chemistry with a receiver and quarterback, what are we talking about, and how long does that take to develop?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different everywhere you go, and it sort of just depends on who the quarterback is. And I think for us, K1 makes it super easy for all the receivers to sort of build chemistry. I mean, for me, it was playing ping pong, things like that where it doesn't necessarily have to be out there on the field. It just can be finding common ground. For me, I spent 2 years in Korea, and I was able to talk to him in Korean a little bit, so that was pretty cool. And but things like that where you can build chemistry with sort of whoever.
What kind of growth have you seen from Michael Wilson?
Oh, I mean, he's a whole different player than I was with him in college. So it's awesome to see not only how his game has developed, and now how he's a true threat in the league. So it's super cool to see.
He dealt with so much in college with all the injuries and barely played.
Yeah.
All things considered, what's that like to kind of see him just stay healthy, kind of get his chance?
Yeah, no, I'm super happy. Me and him were freshman roommates. We came in first day together, and we were roomed together. And he's always had that hard work mentality, and it's awesome to see it finally pay off here and finally get the recognition he deserves.
Is it weird that Elijah's not in your position room anymore?
Yeah, it's a little different. We always made fun of him for being a little too big, in the receiver room. But now it sort of makes sense, and he's doing well as a tight end, so it's awesome.
When you talk about that you adopted when you were in LA, being a special teams guy as well.
Yeah.
Was that difficult at all mentally to embrace that?
Yeah, initially, I mean, things in college, I wasn't one of those guys that's I want to run down on kickoff and make a tackle. That's just not something I viewed myself as. And then slowly as I've spent time in the league, I realized, however you can add value to a team, whatever you can bring, that's how you'll see the field. So, and for me, I like competition and I like to compete. So however I'm going to see the field, that's what I'll do. So.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much. Nice meeting you guys.
Good. How are you guys?
How was it getting to see Peyton at practice the other day?
Peyton, it was great. I don't know. Last time I saw him was probably a couple years ago. Obviously, many memories with him when I was younger. But it was great to see him.
What's that relationship like? Do you guys talk often? I know you said you haven't seen him in a while, but
Yeah.
Texting or anything like that?
No, not really. Obviously, he has a great relationship with my dad, and then you probably communicate through him more so than anything. But it was great to see him though.
What were your takeaways out of that joint practice, and what you got out of it, and how you felt like it went for you in that situation?
Yeah, it was great. I think anytime you get a chance to go against, a different opponent than just yourselves, and obviously they had a great defense. I think they were first in points allowed per last year or something like that. So obviously they had some great players in that end, so it was good to go against them.
Going back though, what was it like being a part of the preseason game, that first one, because you only played in the 3 snaps the year prior?
I don't even remember playing in 3 snaps the first year. It happened went by so fast, but I felt good to go out there. This year I got maybe 2, 3 drives, and maybe a quarter. So I felt good. Gotta go out there and compete.
It's been made. You're playing at 220 now. I mean, how do you feel now going through camp a little bit, playing with that added bulk? You notice a difference?
I don't feel no different. Moving around, I feel kind of, if not faster, and more powerful and explosive. I think at the top of routes, it helps me push off a little bit more, but it doesn't really feel no different for me.
A lot of people think you're still as quick, even though you weigh 11 pounds more. Do you have something you have to work on when you're adding bulk to keep that quickness, or is that just kind of something that kind of happens?
Mixture of both. I think my body could always hold that much weight. It's just a matter of putting it on. So I think it wasn't like I'm forcing my body to do something it's not comfortable doing. But I would say it's I had to really focus on more quickness with adding.
When your game improves in whatever areas or making catches or the things that you want to get better at, can you tell you're getting better at it, or is it something you notice when you go through practice and then you watch on a film and like, okay, I'm looking a little bit better there? Or can you tell in real time, or how do you kind of?
That's a great question. It's a great question because no matter the outcome of the play, I should have made the play regardless. So it's you don't even give yourself credit that sometimes when you do make the plays and you do it over a period of time, it's just okay, that's what I was supposed to do. So it's kind of hard to judge, your improvement. It's just okay, this is what I want to do. I better do it every single time, or else it's going to be a problem. So it's that's kind of how I judge myself. But I feel there's some things I feel okay, I've done a good job of doing this, maybe compared to time before. But it's all about consistency and doing it over a long period of time.
How do you feel like that consistency has been in camp and in joint practice, when you put it all together over the past month?
Yeah, it's been good. I like where I'm at. I'm excited for the season, go out there and compete.
Do you want to play in a preseason game like Game 3 coming up Saturday? Would you like to play in the game, or is it okay if you don't play? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, obviously it's not my call. What I decided to do. I definitely wanted some preseason action this year. I think I got that. So no matter what happens, this coming week, I'll be happy with that either or.
At the beginning of camp, you talked about your kind of improved comfort in the offense, being able to play faster. Have you felt that translate? Now that things are going
Definitely. I know what we're trying to do as offense, moving around the formations a lot, playing different spots. So I definitely feel a lot more comfortable in the system.
Is part of that also being able to anticipate what your defender is also maybe going to show you? Because you said last year was kind of focused on your role, and then this year kind of expanding. Is that also part of it?
Yeah, and I think Terrell, our receiver coach, done a good job of breaking down the coverages to us this year, and I think that's definitely helped not only me but the other guys as well. Just where we're getting out there, where are their weaknesses at, where are their strengths at, how we can kind of run our routes accordingly.
You always get the best corners, right? Whether it was Sertan last week or last season, Sauce Gardner and Jalen Ramsey and Witherspoon. How challenging is that? And is there one trait or two that all those great corners have in common that you have to contend with?
Challenging. That's the best part about football. It's going against the best and competing every single play, especially in those big plays, third downs, red zones. So those are always exciting. But for one thing they probably all have in common, your technique is always going to be top to par. Everybody's kind of athletic and can run and can jump, but the ones who really stick to that technique, those are probably the best ones.
Well, we've still seen kind of throughout camp and especially in the joint practice, a handful of incompletions between you and Kyler. Is that a concern for you at all, those throughout camp?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm trying to think of the incompletions we've even had at the joint practice, but not like the connection that we've had throughout camp. I think we've done a great job of continuing to talk, off the field and in between meetings or in between plays or what we're both seeing out there. So I definitely like where we're at. We just got to go out there and put it on the field now.
When you have a game, and obviously all the starters were doing that, when you have a preseason game where you're not playing, what's a game like for you? What are you doing? Are you paying attention to what the other receivers are doing? Are you doing mental reps? Like how do you take in a game like that when you knew you weren't going to play?
I don't have the luxury of having a headset yet, but I would like to know the plays kind of beforehand. Sometimes I kind of got to ask one, like, hey, what we got right here? But so sometimes I kind of do put myself in a position, okay, what would I do here? But other times just supporting the guys and cheering them on. And I mean, I know the work they put in each and every week, so the opportunities they do get, I just want them to succeed.
How do you feel about lining up in the slot? Do you like that? Is it an advantage? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I line up anywhere. I gotta get open, catch the ball, and that's my role. So, if it helps the team, me being in the slot, helps the team, me being out wide, whatever that situation may be, I'm gonna do my best to do that.
Last year was the first year. Being a rookie in the league, obviously you're not going to get cut, but you went through a cut down day for the first time. And you're in college, you're in high school, that's not really happening.
Yeah.
What's that like for somebody who you're going to be there, but you're going through it for the first time and you're kind of seeing the business in real time and all these guys, like you said, you're cheering on all these guys and some of them aren't going to be here? It's
tough. I was actually earlier just like, I don't want to be there that day. I hope we don't have to be in a building that day, just to kind of see guys. Obviously, their dreams kind of be redirected. I wouldn't say their dreams is definitely over, but just redirected and kind of either start something new, start somewhere new, or whatever that situation may be. But obviously, I know everyone takes this job super seriously, and all the work that they put in has definitely not gone unnoticed. And it's just a blessing to be here, especially for me in my position. I definitely don't take it for granted any day.
Trey said in the offseason, the offense has added more motion. I think there was an analytic, you were only in motion a handful of times all of last year. If that was added to this offense, to your game, what could that possibly afford you?
It's a matchup-based league at the end of the day. You always want your better players on, obviously, either they're worse players or just like the best-on-best kind of matchups. But I feel like motion in an offense can definitely allow you to get favorable matchups.
You were talking to Trey about how he elevated from his rookie year to second year, and then boom, the third year. Have you ever talked to him about that whole process?
No, I feel like everyone's situation is kind of different. His rookie year, obviously, I think, was Ertz still here? I'm not totally sure. I think Ertz was still here, so his maybe had to wait his turn a little bit more. So I feel like everybody's situation is different. I was talking to Bo Nix, though. He was a rookie last year. Obviously, he had a great first year. He was out there just like, both kind of talking about the same things. And I think that just kind of happens throughout the league, as a rookie, so.
So Bo Nix said, as a rookie, you just try not to look like an idiot.
Exactly. And he plays the hardest position in football, so I can only imagine for him.
How's Will Johnson been doing in camp?
Will's been great. Will's been great. I'm super excited about his future. Just, we kind of sometimes remember receiver meetings, just going back, just watching him and seeing his techniques and everything that he can do. So he's a special player for sure.
With Simi being a new guy to the group, what have you been seeing out of him?
Say that again?
With Fehoko being one of the new guys to the group, what stands out with him?
So he's been great. I think he's kind of made everybody, especially in their route running, come back to the ball. He does a great job of that. And I kind of asked him, like, where'd you get that from? And he's like, after my rookie year, kind of something I had to develop just for me to get the separation, make the plays. So I think he's definitely elevated everybody's game. And at certain standpoints, I think he's done a great job of that. I mean, his ball skills are tremendous. And the way he can come back to the football definitely has helped me and made sure that I can kind of take that from his game.
Thank you, Marvin.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.